we saw him and Laurel have kind of a little moment outside a few episodes ago. Are they sort of coming back together at the end of the season? And how does that affect Oliver and Tommy?
Well, I mean, love triangles very rarely stay quiet for very long. Yeah, I mean, it's something that we're gonna see, if not. It's less between Oliver and Laurel this week than it is between Oliver and Tommy, and we are going to get some, if not moments of Oliver and Laurel together, we're going to get some clarification to how he feels this week. But I would expect to see my character and Katie's character together a lot more before the end of the season. And that's not good for Tommy.
Tommy and Oliver have been friends forever.
As long as anyone.
What would Oliver do if he had to actually go up against Tommy?
What do you mean, like mano a mano?
Mm-hmm.
I think that he would do everything that he possibly can to avoid that happening. But if it were to happen, Oliver just wouldn't want to hurt him. I mean, if it, I don't. Oliver never wanted Tommy to be involved. Everything that had happened before that had been by design. Telling Diggle was by design. Telling Felicity was a little bit earlier than expected, but by design. Telling Tommy was a life or death situation where Oliver didn't want to sit with the guilt of letting Tommy's father die on his hands because he needed to protect the secret. So split-second decision, he did it, and he's paying the piper because of it, fortunately.
John Barrowman's a big part of these last episodes.
Yes.
Does it come down to a showdown basically between the two of you, or?
Yeah, we've said. I mean, we had the fight in episode 9, and there are a couple of fights to go. And John Barrowman really, I mean, it's wonderful because we have this entire mythology for the season. In episode 21, we've announced that we're flashing back to before Oliver set sail on the Queen's Gambit with his dad, and the entire mythology of our first season, and the reason why almost everybody is doing what they're doing, is laid out by Barrowman in this very eloquent John Barrowman-esque monologue, soliloquy. I don't know what it would be, but it's nice because it pays off what we've been setting up, and as a viewer, I would like it because you sit there and you go, oh wow, these guys, they had a plan. I mean, we had a plan from the moment that we saw John's character in, I think, the 4th episode. Yeah. And even the glyph in the 2nd episode. I mean, that was the first sort of connection where Moira sits in the car and says, he'll never know, and we see the glyph, and all of that's coming home to roost right now.
And does Ali find that out, or do the viewers find that out, what you just talked about?
The viewers definitely find it out. I think it would be sort of sad if Oliver didn't find out, but who's to say?
Okay.
Well, given that he did save Roy, and Roy is going to become obsessed with trying to find the hood, how does that relationship develop over the last few episodes of the season?
We don't see a ton of myself and Roy Harper this year, Colton's character, but there's one really good scene that there are so many. I love the season finales and the end of seasons in general that tie everything off, and you go, wow, where is it going to go? And then just when you think there's nothing, you sprinkle in a few little things. So whether it's Diggle's involvement with a certain organization that we're seeing over the next couple of episodes, or me confronting Roy with Thea right there in a particular scene, while we are servicing a lot of our storylines for season 1, you do start to see little Easter eggs along the way for season 2.
Well, how much of a cliffhanger are we going to see with the season finale?
It's I'm going to have to do a very good job, and I would ask that you guys help as well, letting people know that episode 22 is not our season finale. Because there is enough in episode 22, both in the present and on the island, that you could just say, okay, that's it. I need a break until October. It's there was so much going on in our season finale, and I just remember being. It worked out, and it doesn't always work this way, where we didn't shoot it sequentially, but I was shooting a lot of the stuff from the first and the second act in the first few days of shooting the episode, which doesn't always happen. And then my last 3 days were the totality of the island sequences in the season finale. The final scene of the season I shot on Thursday, I believe, and then Saturday was the sort of the fight, the penultimate showdown, however that happens, and but the cliffhanger is significant.